Grace was a poor young woman who picked vegetables from the fields and sold them from a small cart at the edge of town. After a whole day of hard work, she barely earned enough change to buy bread. Her life was far from luxurious, yet her beauty carried a quiet strength, as if she had been born for something greater. Grace's life had been marked by hardship from the start. She was only 5 when a car accident took the lives of her parents. The town mourned briefly, but soon people moved on. The only one who stayed was her grandmother, Martha, an old woman with silver hair and a bent back, who vowed to raise Grace as both mother and father. Martha's life wasn't easy either. She worked odd jobs on neighbors' farms, sometimes going to bed hungry. Yet she never let Grace feel the weight of her struggles. "My Grace will never go without," she would say, sacrificing every personal dream to ensure the little girl survived. Grace's childhood wasn't filled with toys or school books. While other girls played with dolls, Grace followed her grandmother into the fields, helping water crops and carry baskets. Her small hands grew calloused from tools before they ever touched textbooks. Then another trial arrived, her younger brother, born after her parents' death. Grace, still a child herself, suddenly became a mother figure. She would hide her tears, smiling as she rocked him to sleep. When food was scarce, she gave him the last bite and drank only water. Despite her hardships, Grace clung to faith. Every morning she prayed quietly in her grandmother's worn rocking chair, whispering, "Lord, you're all I have." Martha often told her, "Sweetheart, God makes you strong before he makes you grown." These words became the foundation of Grace's resilience. But the small town wasn't kind. When she set up her cart along Main Street, she faced not only customers but stares, gossip, and judgment. Women watching from their porches would mutter, "A girl working out here? Who knows what she'd do next?" Men who sat at the diner eyed her in ways that made her shiver. Some teased, "You're too pretty to be selling vegetables. Why don't you find yourself a man?" Grace ignored them, though inside fear gnawed at her. Not everyone was cruel. A few kind women bought her produce quietly, encouraging her, "Stay strong, honey. We're proud of you." An old veteran once said, "This girl's got more grit than half the men in town." But those supportive voices were rare and often drowned out by the ugliness around her. One man in particular became her greatest threat: Henry Cole, the town's most powerful landowner. He was in his 50s, arrogant and feared. People whispered about his dark past bullying farmers, evicting widows, and even setting fires to force his will. His wealth and influence meant no one dared oppose him. When Henry saw Grace working alone on the roadside, he stopped by her cart. "This land's mine," he sneered. "You want to sell here, you ask me first." Grace, polite but firm, said, "Sir, I'll pay rent. I just need to make enough for food." Henry chuckled, a cruel smile crossing his face. "Rent? I don't want your money. I want other things." His words chilled her to the core. The next day, he returned, speaking more vilely. "Girls like you don't just sell vegetables. Think about it. Do what I say, and life will be easy. Refuse and don't bother showing up tomorrow." Tears stung her eyes. The street was full of people, but no one spoke up. Everyone feared him. Grace packed up her cart and hurried home, whispering, "Lord, only you can protect me." Her grandmother understood everything without a word. She held Grace close and said, "No matter how powerful the wicked seem, when God strikes, it leaves no sound, but the impact is mighty." Not long after, Henry's own household was struck. His 8-year-old daughter, Sarah, suddenly grew gravely ill. The doctors from the city gave up hope. For the first time, Henry wept. His elderly mother told him, "This is God's justice. Go to that girl, ask her to pray. Maybe mercy will fall on you yet." That night, Henry came to Grace's door. Gone was the swagger. He was barefoot, trembling, voice shaking. "I've sinned. My little girl is dying. Please pray for her. Your faith is real. I beg for her life." Grace's eyes filled with tears not of hate, but of compassion. She raised her hands toward heaven and prayed, "Lord, you are merciful. This man was cruel, but now he repents for his child. Please heal her, so he will know you alone are master. By morning, Sarah opened her eyes. The fever broke. Her father collapsed to the ground in tears, begging God's forgiveness for the first time in his life. That day, the whole town saw how one girl's faith had humbled the most feared man among them. Grace, once mocked, became a symbol of honor. Henry himself stood before the townspeople and declared, "I wronged this girl," but she answered with prayer, "What greater strength exists? She is God's beloved servant." He bowed his head in front of her, and the town never looked at her the same again. In time, Grace married a kind, God-fearing man named Daniel, a schoolteacher who had quietly admired her courage from the beginning. Their wedding was simple but full of peace. Holding her hand, Daniel told her, "I didn't choose you because of your beauty, but because your patience is the light I want in my life." Grace smiled, replying, "And I'll honor this bond as a trust from God." After her marriage, she began teaching women and girls in town, saying, "If you have faith and patience, you have strength." Her grandmother, tears in her eyes, thanked God for letting her see the harvest of the seeds she had sown in her granddaughter. For when intentions are pure, patience is steady, and prayers come from the heart, lives change, and even the world bows.